Hello friends and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial on ISTQB Advanced Level Test Analyst Certification. We are in Chapter 3 talking about test analysis and test design. And today we shall be continuing with 3.1, that is database test techniques, and should be covering a next technique called as random testing and trying to understand what it takes to basically apply this random testing as a part of your day-to-day activities compared to that of formal testing, how informal testing adds more significance to the entire test process. Just to set up a quick context, when it comes to random testing, it's more about utilizing your experience and making sure that you find out more different defects than that of formal. Everything has their own significance. If you talk about random testing, it is more informal, leveraging the experience of the test engineers, where we understand every tester has their own perception, have different experience, and certainly adds value to testing by finding different defects. In simple words, it helps you leverage your own understanding and domain knowledge and bring additional test cases to it. However, we say that we don't look forward to write detailed test cases, but the high level test cases would do the job and certainly helps you leverage independent test data or different steps to identify more and more different defects. Now let's understand what exactly the syllabus is trying to convey you here from the same technique. When we talk about random testing, it involves selecting test data randomly from the input domain of the test item based on a specified probability distribution. For validation purposes, a distribution based on operational profile is recommended, and for verification purposes, the distribution should be usage agnostic to avoid biases. In simple words, when we talk about the random testing, it's more about what it takes to perform the required test, and it can be certainly utilizing different sort of data, because being a part of the formal testing, normally we have most of the things well defined, well specified. But when it comes to random testing, a tester gets the privilege to utilize their own experiences and bring more value to it. And that's exactly where we get the freedom to try different data to see that if there's any data which might be failing, and because of that we can identify certain defects. Also, to add here, of course, expected results might be added to the test case using a test oracle, which most often requires an automated test oracle, because we look forward to see if there is any way we can do some kind of automation by trying different set of test data. It could help us to uncover those defects which generally normal formal testing does not find, but having an automation in place, it would be quick and simple and easy to perform. On the other hand, we also would like to talk about that random testing can be guided or unguided. And very easy way to understand it, guided are those where we have some test cases written, but unguided are those where we do not have any test cases written. So unguided certainly becomes completely dependent on the expertise of the test engineer. However, guided random testing, exemplified by techniques like adaptive random testing, adjusts the distribution based on previously selected values or evolving over time. Now here the guiding is just not about the test cases, but also about if you take the understanding of the previously executed test case, and that can be something great for you to decide about the upcoming test cases too. For example, if you have used equivalence partition and boundary value analysis and you would like to take some more additional values, but certainly not following a principle, not following a technique, but utilizing your own experience. And that can be referred as a guided random testing. And the second point right here to talk about is guided random testing also aims to cover the input domain effectively, considering defects often cluster in specific domain regions, which simply represents that sometime I can be domain driven as well, which could act as a guide for me to define the required set of test cases, and I can still be aligned to that of the goal, but not exactly getting misguided. Like unguided can be aimless also. And that's exactly the next point, is that random testing lacks recognized coverage criteria. Therefore, the exit criteria can only rely on the number of tests executed, the testing time spent, or similar measures of completion, which certainly represents that just because of lack of testing or lack of artifacts, it might be difficult to define what coverage has been achieved with help of the testing being conducted. It's more qualitative analysis, like how much does a tester think what they have covered, and their confidence act as a coverage criteria here, and include some of the parameters like what kind of testing was done, what kind of modules were into consideration, how much time have we spent so far, and many more things which adds to the value. But also to understand that we don't want these random testing to be aimless, because at points it becomes very difficult to measure them. Let's add something more to this conversation, and of course there are a few more points to elaborate. When we talk about random testing, it is especially valuable when domain knowledge is limited or there is a need for large volume of test data. That means when you want to try a lot of data, and thus you don't want to spend a lot of time doing that. It is of course a cost effective, and it provides in probabilistic terms insights into the test object reliability. Indeed, when we talk about the word reliability here, all it means is that we just don't want to run some few test cases and say that this is enough. Adding more test cases, but certainly avoiding your effort or reducing your effort, results into better reliability factors. You might have tried more values compared to that of what you were actually looking at formally. Right there, random testing also helps you to avoid biases such as overlooking defects in and manual testing due to the misplaced trust in some code or functionality. However, random testing also has several challenges and limitations, including neglecting data semantics, potentially missing defects related to data meaning, and overlooking certain defects sometimes, like generating redundant tests, dependency on an automated test oracle, and random outputs leading to inconsistent test results. So it's just that we don't really have to make random testing so random that they might not be helpful at all. So all these pointers clearly specify that we just don't want to put somewhere an effort which is not really required. At the same time, it should not be so random that we have redundant test cases, or sometimes we just start concentrating on a particular area rather than trying diversified information. And that is where it becomes very crucial that these tests should not become aimless at any point of time. And finally, balancing the advantages and disadvantages, that is limitations of random testing, is essential in each testing context, which brings the overall value of random testing. Do not forget that leveraging experience doesn't mean that we are trying to test even those things which are not a part of the context or included in our scope of work. And that where it becomes very crucial for a test engineer to take that into account. As a part of this particular segment, you might be expecting a theoretical question in the examination. We would like to take a quick example right here. So there's a question on your screen. You can pause the video to try it out yourself. And the question is, which difficulty of random testing can be addressed by using guided random testing? And if you see here, we have got four options. A, lack of well-defined coverage, dependence on an automated test oracle, redundancy of selected test data, and neglecting data semantics. I think if you just recall, the last slide has covered all these pointers and have given you a very clear criteria that what kind of challenges can be basically addressed with guided random testing. And if you see here, option A, a lack of well-defined coverage criteria, certainly makes it difficult to conduct random testing regardless of the type. So we need a well-defined coverage criteria. And if you talk about B, if a tester doesn't have a automated test oracle, guided random testing will be as ineffective as unguided. So dependency on an automated test oracle is not a challenge or not a difficulty. But if you talk about C, redundancy of selected test data, can be avoided by modifying the probability distribution, and of course to draw an element each time from those which are not yet drawn, and that's where it adds value. So it looks a great option. And D says neglecting data semantics. Of course, data semantic does not depend on whether guided or unguided. And with that, we can conclude that the right answer is C, that is redundancy of selected test data, where guided testing can be helpful. So at this point of time, we certainly understand that what kind of question is also expected from this particular topic. However, it will remain theoretical, so there will be no calculations involved. And that gives you a good insight and understanding about the same. So that's all from this particular tutorial, team. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video, team, and happy learning.